Around every corner, there's a cultural dead end just waiting to disappoint. Yet if you believe advertisers, life-affirming authenticity can now be found in a cheeseburger or a phone contract. Advertisers have always tried to sell a lifestyle, but now they've taken it to unparalleled levels of delusion and sheer unadulterated cringe. Now you're not just buying into a lifestyle, you're defining who you are as a person. You're expressing your existential value to the world. The advertising industry's latest premeditated pastiche revolves around rebranding conformity and feckless consumerism as spiritual self-empowerment. Everything has to be so fucking profound. But again, it's all contrived. It's fake profundity. It's a facsimile of authenticity. O2's ads are particularly cringy and pretentious. Your time in the universe is finite. Don't waste a second. Breathe it all in. What, by taking out a phone contract? That ain't it, Chief. My existential angst isn't soothed by knowing I have unlimited data and calls. Sorry, it just doesn't work that way. Bacardi. Do what moves you. What moves me is not drinking Bacardi because it tastes like out-of-date cough syrup. For 40 years, Burger King had the same slogan, have it your way. Basically saying, you can customize your burger order. Then they changed it to be your way, then just your way. Because for some reason it's important to combine wanting extra onions on your bacon cheeseburger with an organic, in-the-moment burst of emotional self-expression. Nike. Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. In this case, sacrificing a shit career that was already over to become the physical embodiment of virtue signaling writ large. Speaking of virtue signaling, Toyota's Go Your Own Way ad campaign relies on drag queens to promote
a kind of utopian world where there's no hate.
Because buying an Igo is guaranteed to eliminate negative human emotions overnight.
Drag is the new punk, all the kids are doing it. Which is great, you know, it's a different way of sticking two fingers up at everyone.
Yeah, you're the face of an ad campaign for the 6th largest corporation in the world with a net worth of $263 billion. That's not avant-garde or anti-establishment. It's the opposite. But again, selling a product isn't enough anymore. Now it's necessary to encapsulate it with a profound statement. To sell a utopian pipe dream. At least in They Live, they kept the brainwashing nice and straightforward. Heineken doesn't even try to veil the message behind their sales patter. Here's to an open world, to a world without borders or barriers. Released shortly after a terrorist who was in the country because of open borders blew up a bunch of kids in Manchester. Whoops.
Here's to an open world, to a world without borders or barriers.
Listen, you're selling beer, not rewriting John Lennon's Imagine. Just tell me about the frigging beer. I want to know about the product. I don't need transnational corporations lecturing me about the state of the world or the meaning of life. Ben and Jerry's. Today we launch Pecan Resist. This flavour supports groups creating a more just and equitable nation for us all and who are fighting President Trump's regressive agenda. I love how they made all the people on the carton look like almost identical NPCs.
Today we launch Pecan Resist. This flavour supports groups creating a more just and equitable nation for us all and who are fighting President Trump's regressive agenda.
Of course, virtue signaling also secures you millions of dollars worth of free advertising. Like when Kleenex ditched man-sized tissues to fight the evil patriarchy. Because Twitter is full of dumb simpletons who can't tell the difference. The ultimate irony here, of course, is that all this pre-packaged self-expression is so fucking generic that it turns into one huge dumpster fire of cringe conformity. Compare all this to advertising slogans of the past. Go to work on an egg. Beans means Heinz. Snap, crackle, pop. It does exactly what it says on the tin. All pragmatic or describing the product. None of this intelligence-insulting, pompous, moralizing drivel that we're subjected to today. But some companies inadvertently let slip that their true agenda isn't diversity or self-expression, it's crushing conformity. Look at Apple's latest ad for its crappy watch. A bunch of people who look exactly the same jumping into the sea like lemmings. What could they possibly mean by that? Gee, I wonder. At this point, They're just taking the piss. As Dan Hitchens writes in his article Deep and Meaningless, society lives by aphorisms. The more starry-eyed the slogan, the bleaker the reality it conceals. The social media sites which aspire to connect everybody are doing more to make them solitary. The mass marketing of clothes and drinks in the name of self-expression is turning us all into dull conformists. And the companies which deliver the most sentimental lines about human potential are nonetheless capable of treating their workers like animals. But the simplest objection to meaning of life advertising is that it's so banal. It strains to be poetic, but it bears the same relation to poetry as concrete carbuncles do to architecture. And like bad architecture, you can't escape it.